What happens to your brain when you eat sardines? Have you ever wondered what really happens inside your brain when you eat something as small and humble as a sardine? Most people don't give a second thought to these little fish in a can. They may think of them as cheap, old-fashioned, or maybe even a little smelly. But hidden inside these tiny packages lies a story that can completely shift the way you think about food and brain health. Your brain is an energy-hungry organ. It makes up only about 2% of your body weight, but it consumes around 20% of your body's total energy every single day. Every thought, every memory, every mood swing, every creative spark, it all depends on the smooth function of your brain cells, also called neurons. And those neurons are not just floating around loosely. They are surrounded by membranes made of fat. Now, you might ask, can't I just take fish oil supplements for this? The answer is more complicated. Fish oil does provide DHA and EPA, but sardines are more than just an omega-3 delivery system. They bring along a package of nutrients that supplements cannot match. Think about vitamin D, one of the rare nutrients missing from most modern diets, essential not just for bone health, but for keeping gray matter intact in the brain. Think about vitamin B12, a powerhouse for the nervous system, deficiencies of which can cause brain shrinkage and memory decline. Add to that phosphorus, selenium, iron, and even calcium. Yes, if you eat them with the bones, sardines are a great source of calcium. All these nutrients work together in ways science is still uncovering, creating a whole food effect that no capsule can duplicate. And that's one reason why sardines stand apart. They don't just patch holes with a single nutrient. They reinforce the whole foundation of your brain's nutritional needs. Let's move to something remarkable that scientists discovered recently. In a study published by researchers at UT Health San Antonio, middle-aged adults with higher levels of omega-3s in their red blood cells showed better brain structure on MRI scans. Their hippocampus, the brain's memory hub, was larger, healthier, and better preserved than those with lower omega-3 levels. What's more fascinating is that the benefits were visible not in people over 70, but in people in their 40s and 50s. This means that omega-3s are not just protecting against late-stage dementia. They are influencing brain health decades earlier, right at midlife, when most people are too busy to notice the silent wear and tear happening inside their brains. Eating sardines now might be one of the simplest ways to protect yourself from accelerated brain aging later. Another study, published by the Alzheimer's Disease International Group, found that older adults with higher omega-3 intake had larger overall brain volumes, particularly in regions tied to memory and learning. The difference was equivalent to slowing brain aging by up to 2 years. Think about that. 2 extra years of memory, clarity, and independence, all because of what you put on your plate. This isn't science fiction. It's measurable, documented science. But the benefits of sardines don't stop at structure. They reach into performance. Multiple meta-analyses have shown that omega-3 supplementation improves memory and cognitive speed, especially in people who already have mild memory issues. One review published in the journal Nutrients showed that taking DHA daily increased brain phospholipids, improved neurotransmitter release, and enhanced cognitive performance in older adults. And here's where things take another unexpected turn. Sardines don't just help memory, they help mood. How? Through neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. These chemicals regulate how we feel day to day, whether we are anxious, balanced, motivated, or depressed. Omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, and vitamin B12 from sardines all play key roles in keeping these neurotransmitters in balance. Studies show that low levels of omega-3s are linked with higher rates of depression and anxiety. Low vitamin D has been tied to seasonal affective disorder and faster cognitive decline. Low B12 is connected to poor nerve signaling and even mood swings. But perhaps the most surprising effect of sardines is how they tame inflammation in the brain. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the silent drivers of neurodegeneration. It disrupts neuron connections, accelerates aging, and leaves the brain vulnerable to conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Omega-3 fatty acids from sardines are converted into compounds called resolvins and protectins. These are like the body's peacekeepers. They don't just reduce inflammation, they actively help resolve it. Some scientists call them nature's aspirin for the brain. Now, let's step back and think about something practical. Whole foods like sardines are not only effective, but they are safer than pills. Why? Because supplements can oxidize, lose potency, or provide isolated compounds that your body cannot use properly. Sardines, on the other hand, are fresh, balanced, and come with the cofactors your brain needs to process the nutrients. They're also safe from one of the biggest fears people have about fish, mercury. Unlike tuna or swordfish, sardines are small and short-lived. They eat plankton, not other fish, which keeps mercury and heavy metals to almost undetectable levels. In fact, the FDA has ranked sardines as one of the best choices for seafood, even safe for children and pregnant women. Add to that the fact that sardines are affordable, widely available, and environmentally sustainable, and suddenly this tiny fish looks like a giant in the world of brain food. So, what happens to your brain when you eat sardines? Let's put it together. First, your neurons gain flexible membranes that make communication sharper. Second, your hippocampus holds onto its size and strength longer, delaying the shrinking that usually comes with age. Third, your neurotransmitters fire more effectively, balancing your mood and focus. Fourth, inflammation quietly cools down, protecting your brain from future damage. And fifth, you get all of this in one of the cheapest, most accessible, and safest forms possible. No pill, no powder, no exotic fruit flown halfway across the world, just sardines. As you can see, this is not what most people think. Sardines are not just about omega-3 fatty acids. They are about structure, performance, mood, protection, and accessibility. They are brain food disguised as an everyday staple. The next time you glance at that tin, remember that it holds more than fish. It holds a chance to protect your brain against the slow, invisible slide of aging. It holds the power to keep your memory alive, your thoughts quick, and your mood steady. And all it asks from you is consistency. Sardines may sound like the perfect brain food after everything you just heard, but here is the part most people never expect. Even though these little fish deliver enormous benefits, they are not without their challenges. And if you eat them without understanding these risks, you could undo some of the very protection you are trying to give your brain. That is why it is so important to look at the other side of the story. The surprising truth is that sardines can also bring concerns that must be managed if you want to keep your brain safe and strong. Let's explore these hidden issues and then discover how to make sardines work for you, not against you. The first challenge is sodium. Most sardines that come in a can are packed in brine. That salty liquid keeps them preserved and flavorful, but it also raises their sodium levels dramatically. Why does this matter for the brain? Because high sodium intake is directly linked to vascular damage, and vascular damage means reduced blood flow to the brain. The second issue is purines. Sardines, like many oily fish, contain high amounts of purines, which break down into uric acid in the body. For most people, uric acid is processed normally and excreted without harm. But for individuals prone to gout or kidney stones, too much uric acid can cause painful flares or even lead to long-term joint and kidney damage. Now, let's tackle one of the biggest myths: mercury. For decades, people have been told to limit fish intake because of mercury contamination. Tuna, swordfish, king mackerel, these are the types of fish that accumulate mercury because they are large predators that live longer and eat other fish. Sardines, on the other hand, are small, short-lived, and eat only plankton. As a result, mercury levels in sardines are almost negligible. The United States Food and Drug Administration even lists sardines as a best choice fish, meaning you can eat them regularly without fear. But there is another twist. Omega-3 fatty acids are powerful, but even too much of a good thing can cause problems. Studies have shown that extremely high doses of omega-3 supplements can increase the risk of atrial fibrillation, a type of irregular heartbeat. Speaking of nutrients, sardines also shine in two often overlooked categories: vitamin D and vitamin B12. Deficiencies in either of these are strongly tied to cognitive decline. Low vitamin D levels have been associated with faster progression of Alzheimer's disease, as studies in Alzheimer's and Dementia Journal have shown. But the story goes even deeper when you consider the gut-brain connection. Modern science now shows that your gut microbiome, the community of trillions of bacteria living inside your intestines, directly communicates with your brain. It influences mood, stress response, inflammation, and even memory. Omega-3 fatty acids from sardines have been shown to improve the diversity of gut bacteria, strengthening this gut-brain axis. By eating sardines, you are not just feeding your brain cells, you are also feeding the bacteria that shape your mental health. Now, let's bring all these points together into the questions people ask most. How many sardines per week are safe? The answer is simple. 2 to 3 servings of oily fish, including sardines, are recommended by health authorities for maximum benefit without risks. Are canned sardines as good as fresh? Yes, they are, because nutrients like omega-3s, vitamin D, and vitamin B12 survive the canning process. Should you replace supplements with sardines? For most people, yes, because whole foods deliver a full package of nutrients, not just isolated compounds. Can sardines improve depression or anxiety? Research shows omega-3s improve serotonin and dopamine signaling, which makes them highly supportive of mood regulation. If you worry about the taste, remember that sardines can be blended into salads, pasta, or spreads, and a squeeze of lemon can neutralize the strong flavor. Each concern has a solution. Sodium can be avoided by choosing carefully. Purines can be managed through moderation. Mercury is not a problem for sardines. Vitamin D and B12 deficiencies are solved naturally. The gut-brain connection is strengthened. And all of this means that sardines, when eaten wisely, become a powerful ally rather than a hidden enemy. That's the beauty of this food. It demands that you respect balance, but when you do, it rewards you with some of the most powerful brain protection science has uncovered. So, where does this leave us? Sardines are not just brain food, they are a lesson in how nature works, providing benefits, carrying challenges, and asking us to engage with food consciously rather than blindly. So here we are at the final piece of the puzzle. We have seen the science of sardines as brain food, and we have looked honestly at the concerns. But what does it all mean when you step back and put the picture together? The answer is surprisingly simple. Sardines are not a miracle cure, and they are not a hidden poison. They are a tool, an affordable, nutrient-rich, accessible tool that can protect your brain in ways you probably never imagined. And the twist is this. The greatest power of sardines lies not in the fact that they contain omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, or B12, but in how consistently they can deliver those nutrients in real life. Because in the end, brain health is not built on single supplements or trendy superfoods. It is built on small, repeated habits that add up over years. Sardines fit that role perfectly. When you eat sardines 2 or 3 times per week, you are slowly weaving stronger fabric into the very structure of your brain. You are reinforcing the hippocampus, the region of your mind that protects memories and learning. You are calming down silent inflammation that otherwise chips away at your neurons. Sardines are not quick fixes. They are a long-term ally. They are the kind of food that works invisibly, building protection layer by layer. But it is also important to recognize that no food exists in isolation. The smartest way to use sardines for brain health is to integrate them into a balanced diet. A sardine paired with leafy greens delivers omega-3 fatty acids and antioxidants in the same bite. Mixed with whole grains, you add slow-release fuel for steady brain energy. Combined with nuts, you strengthen the protective effect against inflammation. This is how food synergy works. It is not about one nutrient acting alone. It is about many nutrients working together in harmony. Now picture yourself years down the road. Imagine sitting with your family, remembering stories vividly, holding conversations with sharpness, feeling calm instead of anxious, confident instead of confused. That is what a protected brain feels like. That is what happens when you invest in it now, not later. So as we close, here is the practical takeaway. Eat sardines 2 or 3 times per week. Choose those packed in water or olive oil to keep sodium lower. Combine them with a variety of plant foods and stay consistent. That is all. No extremes, no gimmicks, just a small, steady habit that protects your brain's future. And now I turn it over to you. What do you think? Have you tried sardines before? Have you noticed differences in energy, mood, or clarity? Share your thoughts in the comments below because your experience might inspire someone else to take that first step toward protecting their brain. If this video gave you new insights, please take a moment to like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends and family. You never know who might need this information to keep their mind sharp and resilient. Because sometimes the strongest protectors are not flashy or expensive. Sometimes they are small, simple, and unexpected. Sometimes they are sardines.